my name is Amy and I'm a travel agent, a travel blogger, a Universal annual pass holder, and a huge fan of all things Universal. And today we are going to do a resort tour of Cabana Bay Beach Resort. This is easily one of the most popular resorts at Universal Orlando, and we're going to take a look at it today. I have an older Cabana Bay Beach Resort tour, but it really wasn't that good and it's a little outdated, so we're going to show you a brand new one today. Cabana Bay Beach Resort is kind of a 50s and 60s retro theme. It's kind of an odd theme, in my opinion, for a family resort, but it's also fun. A lot of people really like it. For me, a lot of the stuff here reminds me of stuff that was in my grandma's house in like the 90s, like the amenities in the rooms and everything. They have, I think, VO5 conditioner and what's the soap they have here? The little green one? Zest, yeah. My grandma had those in the 90s. So that's what that reminds me of. But it's more of like a grandparents or great-grandparents kind of nostalgia here. But it is really cute. They do need to do a few updates here. And I'm hoping after Epic Universe opens that maybe they'll do a little bit here, but it's in good shape. It could just use a few little things. So I've stayed at every single Universal hotel so far, and while Cabana Bay is not my #1 favorite, it is the one that I book the most for my clients, and it's also the one that we stay at the most with our family. So you might be wondering, if it's not my #1 favorite, why do we stay here so often, or why do I book it so often? And honestly, there are several reasons. The first is that it's one of 2 prime value resorts that Universal has right now. There will be 2 more coming with Epic Universe, but they're not here yet, and they're not gonna be located right here, so we'll talk about those later. So this and Aventura are the other prime value resorts that Universal has right now. There's also the value resorts, which is Endless Summer Dockside and Surfside, but they're located further from the property and the pools aren't as nice. So there's a couple of downsides to staying there, but Cabana Bay actually is closer to City Walk and Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios. And you can also take the Garden Walk and walk all the way too. So you have some different transportation options. We have a video about Universal Transportation. I'll link that in the description below. And also, as I mentioned, I am a Universal travel agent. If you're trying to figure out your Universal vacation and need a little bit of help, I'd love to work with you. I can definitely add some value to your vacation. Universal has rates that are sometimes only available through a travel agent. So I can definitely save you some time and maybe save some money as well. I'll leave all that info in the description if you want to contact me, and we'll start planning your Universal vacation. So why book this resort? Like I said, it is one of Universal's 2 prime value resorts, which means it is one of the most economical. So it does come at a lower price range than, the premier resorts or even the moderate resort. So you're gonna save some money here. And then the other big factor of staying here is the family suites. So if you have a family of 4 or 5 or 6 people, it can really save you some money. In fact, Cabana Bay has 2-bedroom suites that sleep up to 8. We have a video of one of those. I'll link it up here and then in the description also. But if you have a family with more than 4 people, you're going to pay a lot more at the other resorts, like Sapphire Falls or Royal Pacific. You're gonna pay a lot more to sleep that same amount of people, where you can do a family suite here at Cabana Bay in a much more economical way. Now, I have to mention Endless Summer because they do have 2-bedroom suites as well, but like I mentioned just a minute ago, there are some downsides to staying at Endless Summer, like the pools aren't as good and they're just a little farther off property. So the pools are another reason why I book this resort so often for families. They really love it. It has a lazy river. We'll show that in a little bit, what's not to love about that. There's also another large pool with a slide. This resort has 2,200 rooms, so it is massive. It's very large. Now, if you don't want to do a lot of walking, you need to request a room that's close to the lobby. If I'm working with you, I can definitely make sure to put in that request, because otherwise you might do a lot of walking. But this property has so many things for families here. There's a bowling alley, there's a gym, there's 2 large pools, there's a lazy river. There's really just something for everybody here. So let's go on and take a look at it. So we're in the elevator right now, but they have QR codes, So you can see all the different food options that they have here, because there is pizza. You can order this and have it delivered to your room, or you can pick it up downstairs, but just everything is on here, and there's quite a few options. So we're out here in front of the Bayliner Diner at Cabana Bay Beach Resort, which is the main restaurant here, and it's open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There are a lot of different options here, lots of different food choices, including a lot for special dietary needs like food allergies, things like that. There's a few snacks. So if you're staying here on property and you don't have a rental car, so you don't have a way to leave to go to restaurants or go food shopping, this is a really good option because it really does have something for everybody, from pizza to chicken strips to, you know, gluten-free muffins. There's really a little bit of everything here. So if you buy the reusable Coca-Cola mugs or cups in the park, they actually can't be used at the resorts. All of the resorts have their own separate cups, so just keep that in mind. If you buy the ones at the park, you actually can't use them at the resort, and vice versa. Each is its own thing. In the back corner at the Bayliner Diner, they have Shakes Malt Shop, so you can get milkshakes, sundaes. They even have some smoothies, sugary options like that over here. So we're here in the gift shop at Cabana Bay. Every Universal hotel does have a gift shop, so if you forget something at the parks, you meant to grab something out of the gift shop and you don't, make sure to check the hotel. They might have it. They also have things like flip-flops and bathing suits, goggles, things like that. Yes, they're going to be overpriced, but if you don't have a car, it's still going to probably be cheaper to get it here than to Uber somewhere else. I always recommend having a car, but that's neither here nor there. But at the gift shop, they also have resort branded merchandise. So here is the only place that you can actually buy the Cabana Bay branded stuff, and the same with Sapphire Falls or any other resort, but we'll show you some of the Cabana Bay stuff in a minute. Every Universal hotel does have Starbucks coffee on property. The one at Cabana Bay is right next to the gift shop. Yeah, so we're gonna go upstairs. Upstairs we have the Galaxy Bowl, we have the fitness center, and also the arcade. So we have the Galaxy Bowl here. It's obviously a bowling alley, but it's a restaurant as well. We'll show that menu here in a minute. So you have a few different options to eat here, but it's mostly like burgers and stuff. There is a plant-based burger if you are vegan, and there's also a couple of salads, but just make sure to note that you do need a reservation for bowling because it gets pretty busy. So we have a fitness center here. Hopefully it's not too busy so we can get a video. Oh, it's not. It's actually, I think, one of the nicer gyms on Universal property. There's a lot of cardio machines. There's a lot of weight machines. There's a lot of free weights. There's an area here where you have things like kettlebells. And so of all the Universal gyms, I actually think this is one of the nicer ones. Even it's nicer than a lot of the premier resorts. I think just because it's bigger, because it's a bigger hotel, but they really have everything here. All the Universal hotels do have arcades. So this is the Gameroom. It's upstairs at Cabana Bay, right above the Bayliner Diner. Maybe a good rainy day activity because it rains a lot in the summer. So we're right above the Bayliner Diner right now. So you can go look over here. The Bayliner Diner is down there. And then we're actually gonna go out to the Lazy River Courtyard. And you don't have to go downstairs or anything. You can just walk right out this door and walk down there. So we're out in the Lazy River Courtyard right now. And we have the Continental building on this side. And then the Americana building on this side. So I think I said earlier in the video, these are the two buildings that have the interior access rooms and suites. So I definitely recommend that. It's only a few dollars a night more, but I personally prefer the interior access. I think it's a little bit nicer. Otherwise, the rooms are exactly the same. Your Volcano Bay rooms are gonna be over here as well, because as you can see the volcano over here. And then you also have the Hideaway Bar and Grill. So it's basically the same as the bar and grill that's over in the other courtyard. You've got, you know, burgers and snacks like that, and drinks. And then you have your regular pool, and then the Lazy River is over here, and we'll go take a look at those right now. So just something to keep in mind at their Lazy River is that they don't provide floats. So either you bring your own, or you do have to buy them
here. So that's just something to keep in mind, just to make sure that you're prepared. You can just room charge it, so it's not a huge deal, but you could also bring your own. Just don't expect for them to be provided in the lazy river because they're not. So this is the Cabana Courtyard. It's where they have the slide and the splash pad. There's also Atomic Grill, so that's a grill and bar that has things like burgers, chicken fingers, drinks, things like that. And then you have your smaller pool here that has a slide. Both pools also have a sand area with some games. And then there are cabanas that you can rent as well. So the other pool at Cabana Bay is more popular because it does have the lazy river and it's just larger, but the pool over here by the exterior entry rooms is really great too, because not only does it have a slide, and this is the only slide at Cabana Bay, but there's also a splash pad. So we're over here right now by the Castaway, Thunderbird, and Starlight buildings. So these are the buildings where you're going to have the exterior entry versus the interior entry. Personally, I prefer the interior, but the exterior is a little bit cheaper. So if you want to save a little bit of money, it's a good option. And it is on the lobby side of the resort. So also, depending on where your room is, because there are some that are still pretty far, but you may end up being closer to the lobby. Now, one thing, I'll probably mention this multiple times in this video, but if you don't want to do a lot of walking, if you have really young, babies, toddlers, you might want to ask that you get a room that is near the lobby at this resort. And if you're working with me as your travel agent, I'll definitely put in that request for you. So here's a little bit of the layout of Cabana Bay, and I'll kind of explain a few things because you are going to see a lot while we walk around, but it's kind of easier to look at it like this, and they will give you a map when you check in. But here we have the Starlight building, Thunderbird, and Castaway buildings, and these are all the exterior entry rooms. So both the regular rooms and the family suites with exterior entry are going to be here. The interior rooms and entries are going to be over here, and the Continental and the Americana. And as you can see, you can go really far from the lobby in these rooms out here. There's also the Beachside and the Bayside towers. Now, there are some regular rooms here as well, but this is where you have the 2-bedroom suites. And again, I do have that linked in the description. So you can also see where the pools are on this map. You have the lazy river here and another pool, and then over here you have a smaller pool, but this one does have the slide. And then one more thing that I want to know, if you're parking a car, and I do recommend renting a car here if you don't have one, they have the main parking area that you enter over here, but you can also go around back and there's parking garages and other parking here. So you're going to want to park closer to wherever your room is. So when you get here, you can go into the short-term parking, and then once you get your keys, figure out where your room is and park near there, because it's a very, very long walk. And then where the buses pick you up to take you to the parks is right here. Also, one last thing, there is a special entrance to Volcano Bay that's here at Cabana Bay Beach Resort. So behind me, you have Beachside Tower. So Beachside and Bayside are part of Cabana Bay. They have the 2-bedroom suites, which I talk about a lot just because there's not a lot of great options to sleep 8 people, but that one is. And then they also have just some standard rooms as well. I really do like these towers, but just keep in mind, they're a really, really long walk from the entrance.
All Universal hotels do have guest laundry. In particular, at this one, the laundry facilities are on the 3rd and 6th floor, at least in the interior room buildings, so the Continental and the Americana on the 3rd and 6th floors. Every single Universal hotel does have laundry, you just might have to ask where to find it. Yeah. Real life. So who should stay at Cabana Bay Beach Resort? This is my favorite resort for families with more than 2 kids. So if you have 2 kids or 3 kids or 4 kids, it's a really great option because they do have those family suites and the 2-bedroom suites that can sleep everybody a little bit more comfortably. And if you are on a little bit more of a budget, this is a really great option. Now, if you have the budget for it, I always recommend a Premier Resort because not only are they nicer, a little bit more comfortable, a little more updated,
They have a little bit more amenities, and they also have more activities, but you also get the express pass with those. So if you have the budget for it, then I definitely recommend a Premier Resort. But at the same time, I understand that not everybody does. They can be really pricey depending on when you visit. So if you're on a more limited budget, I would recommend Cabana Bay for pretty much any family. I love Aventura personally, but I like it more for adults. So if you're looking for somewhere where there's going to be a little bit fewer kids, Aventura is definitely where I would go. Cabana Bay is probably the most family friendly. Not that all Universal resorts aren't family friendly, but you do see the most families here versus just adults. So I really love this resort for pretty much any family, and the rates here are pretty reasonable too. So if you need some help booking your Universal vacation, you want to stay at Cabana Bay, or you want to stay somewhere else where you're just not really sure what's the best option for your family, I have my contact info in the description below. I'd love to help you out. This was a tour of Cabana Bay Beach Resort. I have lots of other Universal videos and blog posts. I'll link lots of those in the description below, and make sure to like and subscribe for more Universal travel tips.